Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kids TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Now, before we get into today's story, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I bring you a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you prefer your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, with all that wrapped up into one big old nut shell, nutshell that is, pause, double pause, there is a message. Oftentimes people ask me questions in my comments, or they send questions to my email, realkidstv@yahoo. And a question that I was posed yesterday, Real Kids, what's the scariest, what's the most time that you were most afraid in prison? There's been a few times that I was somewhat nervous. I don't necessarily want to say afraid, because I didn't really have that drama come towards me. Not that I was a tough guy or anything like that. I stayed out of the mix. I did have a couple situations. I had several situations that occurred, but to just say that I was like afraid, and I think it's more or less of, as I previously mentioned, nervousness. Now, before I get into today's story, y'all jump in the comments and let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm not sure if you can see in the background or whatever. In the middle, well, it's not really the middle, but we had an ice storm the last 4 or 5 days, and we're just now getting over it. The roads are starting to clear up, but guess what? They're saying that we're going to have another one tomorrow, which is Friday, or Saturday. So, it's going to be what it's going to be. This is going to be several, I don't necessarily want to say stories, but what's the correct word that I'm looking for? Maybe nuances, examples. And I'll just kind of correlate them all into one story. No particular order, but asking what's the times that I've been the most afraid or scared, nervous, what have you. This is not necessarily afraid, but, and I've shared this before. When I first went to the penitentiary, 2001, it was, I want to say, February. Actually, I went to jail in February, but they sent me to the pen in April. I get to the pen, I'm at the Rotary Farm. The Rotary Farm is where you go, you get processed, you get classified, they do your blood work, they do your mental evaluations or what have you. And then from there, you may stay there a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on where you're going. They send you to your permanent, place where you'll be housed at. So I'm at the Rotary Farm, LaGrange, Kentucky, aka the fish tank. If you're from Kentucky and you're familiar with penitentiary and going to jail, then you're very familiar with the fish tank. I get sent to the fish tank. I'm thinking that I'm going to boot camp. Boot camp was for first-time offenders. You go to boot camp. I think boot camp was 120 days. If you make it through boot camp, you go home. I'm signed up waiting to go to boot camp. But what ended up happening was, when I go to final sentence, I made a huge mistake at final sentencing. And I want you all to understand this. Hopefully you're never in this predicament, if you will, situation. You have to show contrition in front of the judge. You have to show as though that crime, even though it may be a crime that's not really that serious in your mind, you have to make the judge believe that you believe that this crime is serious. I go to prison for like some checks, counterfeiting checks or something like that. I wasn't writing checks, cashing checks. I was making checks and I was selling them to people. I end up getting caught up. People are always going to tell. Understand that. Anytime you're doing something and you're in crimes, involved in crimes of cahoots, which is involving other individuals, somebody's going to tell on you. I end up going to prison. Judge has an option of giving me either 6 years or 11 years. I go to court. I'm talking to the judge or what have you. I'm like, well, Your Honor, I understand what I did was wrong. I understand that You just can't be out here, breaking the law and things of that nature. But at the same time, y'all, these are just checks, man. I ain't killed nobody. I ain't hurt nobody. We're talking about checks, man. People have gotten more time than me for unaliving people, opposed to me just, fooling with some little petty checks. That's what I said to the judge, man. The judge looked down at my criminal history, which I really didn't have a criminal history. Matter of fact, I didn't have a criminal history. I didn't have a juvenile history. I didn't have a criminal history. Son of a bitch gave me 11 years, ran it wild, ran it consecutive, and said that I had a failure to, what's the words that they use in court? Basically, they were saying I took my crime that I was convicted of too lightly. I didn't want to, and it was the worst thing that I could have said. It definitely was the worst thing that I ever could have said in court, because it was as though I wasn't taking this crime serious. I'm a felon. It's how the judges look. You're a felon. He gives me 11 years. I get to the Rotary Farm. Once I get to the Rotary Farm, I'm not eligible to go to boot camp, because in order to go to boot camp, you have to have 18 months or less of seeing the parole board. Meaning that if you have 19 months before you see the parole board, you got to wait a month before you can apply to boot camp. I got 11 years. 11 years, you do 26 months before you see the parole board in the state of Kentucky. You do 20% of your time, unless it's violent, in which you would do 85%. Hopefully you all are following with me. I didn't have that much county time in. I was out on bond the entire time. So if I have to get this down to 18 months and I have to do 26 months before I see the parole board, it's 8 months before I'm eligible to go to boot camp. Okay, I'll do the 8 months and then I'll go to boot camp. It was my thought process. That was my plan. They end up sending me behind the fence. Lions, tigers, goons, gorillas, birds. I don't even know why they sent me behind the fence. I got the white collar crime. You all should send me to a camp. A camp is just basically somewhere to where you go. You got less than 48 months before you either serve your sentence out or before you go to the parole board. There's no fence. It's low level. It's not a lot of crime or it's not a lot of violence. It's just low level. They send me behind them walls. I think I had my cases. I don't even know exactly what it was, but I had to go behind the walls for 9 months. Eventually, they ended up sending me to the camp. Once they sent me to the camp, my daughter at the time, she was 3 years old, I want to say. She was 3. She was 2. Luckily, my mom, her mother, she wasn't really, she had kind of gone off and did her own thing. I'm not going to knock her and say anything. We weren't married. She had a right to go and do that. But luckily, my mom would bring my daughter to come and see me. My daughter would come and see me, and I never will forget. First couple times, she was kind of standoffish because she hadn't seen me in at that point, it had been, I did 9 months behind the fence, and then I did maybe a month in the county. So it had probably been nearly a year before since my daughter had actually seen me. I'm an individual that was in my daughter's life every single day. She comes, she sees me, she comes to me, but she's crying or what have you. First couple visits or whatever, it was cool. It was cool. She came to me, we played or whatever. But now she's getting older. 6-7 months down the line, she's getting older. She's understanding. She's calling me daddy again or whatever. And I never will forget it was time to leave. Visitations ended technically 3 o'clock, but at about 2:45, 2:50, they tell you to start wrapping it up. Basically, that means start to get your hugs in, get your goodbyes and kisses and whatever, and I'll see you next time. It was time for them to go, and they were walking out. And I never, ever will forget this. My daughter, at this point, she was probably 3. She gets to crying. And she's like, come on, Daddy. And I'm like, I can't go with you all right now. She's like, no, you have to come with me and Granny. My mom, you have to come with me and Granny. It's time to go. And I have to try to explain to a 3-year-old that I can't leave. And she's crying, and my mom picks her up, and they're walking out of the door, and she's, Daddy, I want you to come with us, please. Daddy, please don't leave. Please, Daddy, I don't want to leave. I want my daddy. And that right there was a time in prison that I cried. That's the only time that I recall ever crying in prison because I was just so crushed. I was so disappointed that I did this to my child. This is somebody that I love dearly, somebody that I would lay down and literally die for, even now, to this day. She's 26 years old at this point. Still in her life every day. I'm so thankful that she forgives me and she doesn't use that against me. Or, she's in nursing school right now, and she's a graduate of Western Kentucky University. So she didn't let my being absenteeism, if you will, in different junctures or courses of her life, she didn't allow that to be an excuse for her. She just kept going, and she strived, and she's trying to be the best she can be. And again, she's in nursing. Literally, she's in nursing school right now. But that crushed me, man. That absolutely crushed me, because it was just like, I guess in a sense, I was afraid, because who's gonna look out for my daughter? Yeah, my mother's out there, but her mother's out there. She's dating this dude. She don't know this dude. She done moved the dude into the house shortly after meeting him, and I'm not there. You don't even know this dude. But I put all the blame on me, because if I was out there, guess what? Then that wouldn't even I would have been out there to protect her. So I can't blame her. I can't blame anybody else. I can just blame myself for putting myself in a predicament to go to prison. It was definitely one of the times that was very, very difficult. And the thing about prison, it's difficult all around the board. It's not like you go in there and it's a field day. It's not like you go to prison and you having fun. Your first day in prison, your first time, you don't know what to expect. When you walk in there, when you walk in that Rotary Farm, they send you in a dorm. They may say, okay, you in dorm D. When you go in dorm D, it's a gate, like the fenced. It's like a fence, not barbed wire fence, but like just a chain link fence. They got the doors. They pop the doors open. Doors open. You walk inside. It's 100 beds. You got 50 on the left side, 50 on the right side. You looking for your bunk, you may be in bunk 57. So you walking down the aisle. When you first walk in, there he is. That's him. Yeah, that's the one we seen on the news. That's him. They do that to damn near everybody that walks inside. Kind of see if you're going to fold, if you're going to break. You're not knowing this when you initially walk in. People jumping up and down, hooping and hollering. Well, you got black dudes, you got white dudes, you got Mexicans. It's Kentucky, so you don't really have too much outside of that. As far as, the nationalities, races, or what have you. People want to see what you're about. They want to see if you're going to break. This whole concept of, man, go to prison, mind your business, and you're not going to have no problems, that is the best thing to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to have any problems. People check you at the door. What's up, home? Who you with? Who am I with? Yeah, what's that? Crip, Blood, Vice Lord, GD, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's people will check you at the door sometimes. And I'm not with none of that, man. It's called a neutron, man. Kentucky's not heavily gang populated, but there are gangs here. You're a neutron, man. I'm not claiming no set. Somebody swings on you, man, you got to fight back. It's nothing personal. You just got to show that, hey, I'm about that action. I don't want to be, but I'm going to take up for myself. I'm not going to just be a punk. Because if you don't fight back, and people's looking at you, oh, man, he a rat. Man, he's soft. Man, get him out of here. Put him on the door. Putting him on the door means, hey, man, grab your stuff, get on the door. Knock on the door, bang on the door. Hey, I need to get out of here. I fear for my safety. If you don't, we're going to rush you in here. That's what getting on the door means. So these type of things happen when you first walk into prison, man. You got to be, ready to get down with the get down. And it's just a scary situation. You looking up, you seeing dudes that you've seen on the news, because they don't separate you at the Rotary Farm. You may be in there for a DUI, too many DUIs. Not to say that DUIs are not serious, but it's not compared to an individual. It's not anything in comparison, rather, to this individual that has 3 life sentences for 8 people that he done murked. You might be sleeping right beside it. Just how it is in prison, man. It's dog eat dog. And so my first day in prison was definitely an experience. I'm looking around. Am I scared? No, but am I a little nervous? Yeah, I'm nervous because I don't know what to expect. People have told me, yeah, when you get there, do this, do that. You're going to see this, you're going to see that. But it's nothing like actually seeing for yourself exactly what it's going to be. Wasn't there too long. They sent me to court. Remember I said that I still had another case that I was dealing with. And so I was dealing with the case and it hadn't been resolved yet. So they were sending me back and forth to court. That's the worst experience. When you're in prison, you got to go to court and you got to put this thing on. It's called a black box. I want you all to Google the prison black boxes for you all that don't know. When you put it on, and it's like, it's literally a box. And what's so crazy, old bootlegging ass, weak ass inmate designed it. And you put your hands in this black box and you can't move. And your hands are down like by your waist side. And you stay like that. So if you're in prison, if you're in court for between driving to court, coming back, actually being in court, you may be in that black box for 6, 7, 8 hours straight. Hurts your hands, you can't move. It is the worst. It's inhumane. I want you all to Google that black box. And so I think that it's designed to break you. So when you go to prison, when you go to court from prison, it's like, look, man, I don't want to go through this process again. They wake you up at 3:30 in the morning. You got to pack all your stuff up. They do inventory of your stuff. You got to eat breakfast. They got to change you out, put you in the orange jumpsuits, put the chains on you, put the shackles around your legs, the black box on. You get to court. Let's just say your court time is at 9 o'clock. You may not go before the judge. It's just what time the docket actually starts. You might not see the judge until about 11. Then you come back. You in the black box still. By the time you get back, if you're lucky, you get back by 3:30, 4 o'clock. You've been in this box the whole day. I'm talking about even if you got to use the restroom, they're not taking that box up off of you. I think it's just a way that it's something to make you cop out, to plead guilty. Look, man, I don't want to keep going through this. Yeah, here, give me a plea deal. I'll take it today. If I can take the plea deal today, I'm going to plead guilty today, do whatever I got to do so I don't have to endure this, because I'm not trying to go back through this again. And people do that all the time. And so it was just one of those things where when I got back, they had moved me dorms. And I'm like, what are y'all moving me dorms? You know, I already got acclimated to the dorm that I was in. I was in, I think, dorm D initially. They moved me to E, right next door. Well, the problem is now I don't really know anybody in dorm E. I'm already cool with the people in dorm D. Think about the Rotary Farm. You lock down 23 hours a day. Now it's a big dorm. You got a couple phones. You got a TV. They put the board games in there so you can play up until like 9 o'clock at night. So, you know, it's always somebody to talk to. It's all, you know, always kind of something to do. But you get 1 hour a day out for rec. Sometimes it might be at 8 o'clock in the morning. Next day it might be, 12 o'clock noon, 1 o'clock, in the afternoon. So they kind of rotate your recreation times where you can go out. Other than that, you're in the dorm for 23 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I'm in the dorm. I'm in dorm E at this point, rather. And it's just really miserable because it's like starting all the way over. I don't know anybody. But I hear all of this hollering. I hear, I hear a whole lot of commotion. You see the police running out. You don't know exactly what's going on, but you see the police just running in the dorm frantically. This is another story that I've already told. There's an individual that was in there that was the P word. He was a child P. A child P. Yeah, he messed with kids or whatever. At this time, mind you, this was 2001, I said. 2001. Internet and all of these things didn't really exist like that. So you couldn't, like now, it's hard for somebody to lie about their charges because you can just have them look, hey, baby, look this dude's charges up. You can go right on the website, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, he's in there for this, that. Back then, it wasn't like that. Well, the word traveled that he was in there for messing with little kids. Dude, he was probably, I don't know, maybe in his 40s at the time. Could have been in his 30s. But I would say in his 40s. Looked older, but he wasn't really older. He walked with a cane. He was asleep. They took some icy hot and rubbed it on his feet. Evidently, he was a heavy sleeper. They rubbed the icy hot on his feet. They cut out smoking in the penitentiary. Back then, you could smoke in 2001, but at the Rotary Farm, you couldn't smoke in the dorms. Smoke outside when you go to rec or things like that, but you couldn't smoke in the dorm. So I don't know if anybody had a lighter. I think what they did was they took a pencil, the lead from the pencil, they scribbled it real dark on a piece of paper. Took it, some bitch, put it in the microwave, for about 3 or 4 seconds, and it lights a flame. So now you have a flame. That's how people were smoking cigarettes in the dorm. Black and Milds, cigarettes was a thing to smoke back then. You didn't really smoke too much weed in prison because if you get dropped, the drug test tip, you can come up dirty. You're going to go to the hole. Now, the individuals that, had a lot of time, I don't think they really cared. A lot of people didn't really smoke weed then, though. Not in prison. Took that piece of paper, had the flame on it, caught his feet on fire, both of them. All you heard was just screaming and fire extinguishers and COs, as I mentioned, just running in and out. And so I wasn't in there, but I was right next door. It was the dorm that I had been in. It was the dorm that I was supposed to be in. Scary things that happen in prison. This ain't no joke. When you see people telling these prison stories, I understand that booty bandits is the story that's most popular. I get it. I see it. Yeah, guys, man, and it really is discouraging to me because individuals such as myself that's getting on here, being genuine, telling straight, 100% authentic, true prison stories, often being overlooked because you got these individuals that are talking about booty bandits. I've ran across booty bandits. I've told booty bandit stories, but there's not that many booty bandits. If you have 100 videos and 80 of them are booty bandit stories, there's not that many booty bandits in prison. It's not. Yeah, collectively throughout the prison system all across the United States, but you're not going to see that many booty bandits. But people know that people want to hear these things, so they get on here and they just, quite frankly, they just make up stuff. Me, I'm going to just keep it real. I could easily do that. I tell booty bandit stories, but I tell the ones that are, and I space them out. I tell the ones that are genuine, that are really true. I don't make up stories. So I tell these type of stories, and I don't get the views that they get. A lot of people, hey, Kens, man, we don't understand why your channel ain't taking off. It's taking off. We don't understand why you're not up here. Just keep being true to the game and keep being me, keep being genuine. And I know that at some point, I'll get there. Perhaps I'll arrive on a turtle or a snail, but I'll get there. And people will see the real, they'll recognize the real from the fake. And all these booty bandit stories and all these things, they'll fizzle out. You know what I mean? But that was wild. Another situation where I was at that Rotary Farm. They caught a dude in the shower. 4 or 5 dudes caught a dude coming out of the shower, man. Found out he was a rat. Beat him. Actually, it wasn't even him. It was his girl. His girl was working with them peoples out there to help get him out. Well, guess what? They looking at you as an informant just as well. You cooperating with them people just as well. He's coming out of the shower. They beat him, man. Beat him to death. Lock in a sock. 4 or 5 dudes. Dude coming out of the shower. Pause. Double pause. He's naked. He don't know what's going on. Beat the brakes off of him. All you see is blood on the walls, blood on the floor. These type of things, I wasn't in imminent danger from that, but you see it, and my stomach doesn't. I'm not a violent individual. I'm going to take up for myself. I'm going to throw them things if I got to. But it's not my first preference. It's not my number one objective. I'm trying to figure out a way to, work things out. So when you see gruesome scenes like that, when you see a dude that's, I don't know, black dude, man, big black young dude, man. He's about 6'3", probably weighing in about 260, 270. He's fighting a little young dude, another young dude that's probably about the same height, but he's not 260, 270. He's probably 180, 190. Got long arms, man. He's frail, but he know how to fight. He's beating the big black dude up. Hey, man, your brother's in there fighting. They in the dorm. Your brother's in there fighting. Skinny dude that was beating him up, he had a brother on the yard. They was 2 years apart. What? Brother runs in the dorm. Dude was already on the ground. They stomping him, kicking his head in. His head's bouncing off the ground. I see this. Head's bouncing off the ground. They beating him to death, man. Once again, it's gruesome. It's gruesome scene. Blood everywhere. Me seeing these things is just like, wow, man, I'm really in this sort of environment. I'm really around these horrific things that I'm seeing. No guns in prison, youngsters. And it's not just the youngsters, just people in general. And period, there's no guns in prison. I'm in the law library one day. Actually, it wasn't the law library, so let's rewind that. My manual rewind. I'm in the regular library one day. You go in the library, you can watch DVDs, read the newspaper, check out books, You want to sit in there and read, or you can go back to your dorm or wherever you want to read the books at, magazines, things of that magnitude. Let me check out the paper, man. Lexington paper. I opened the paper up. The thing about the paper, it was never today's date. So if I go in the library on a Thursday to read the paper, the newspaper is going to be from Tuesday, a couple days prior. This is no joke, man. I opened the newspaper up. They had like a stick. It was like it looked like it was wooden, but it was more or less of a plastic. But it looked like it was a wooden stick. Pause. Triple, infinite pause. And somehow they had the newspaper like it was the long way. So they had it to where when you open up a page, you could go page by page, but it was on this stick. I know it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just how it was. I opened up the newspaper. When I opened the newspaper up, it went straight to the obituary section. I can't make this up. Straight to and I told the parole board this story. They ended up letting me out. Went straight to the obituary section. When it went to the obituary section, I looked down. I seen my name. I literally seen my name in the obituary. My mind froze for a second. I'm stunned. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, literally like, for several seconds, I forgot that I'm the third. My grandfather had passed away. I had no clue. I am the third. Imagine seeing your name in the obituary. My grandfather had passed away, and I didn't even know that he had passed away. That was wild. That really was an eye opener, even more of an eye opener. In addition to all the things that I had already seen in prison, this was really like, whoa, to see your name in the obituary, this is going to be me. If I don't straighten my life out, I mean, it's going to be all of us at some point. But to see this, it really, really, I don't know, man. It really, really captivated my mind and my attention. Oh, man, I got to do better. I've got to do better in life, man. I'm at a facility. It's years later. I'm at a facility. It was a younger dude from Louisville, Kentucky. Shout out to Louisville, Kentucky, the Ville. 502. Louisville. Chopper, chill. Louisville, man. You know what I mean? Cardinal land. Home of the Louisville Cardinals. But it was one individual that him and I didn't see eye to eye on the poker table. I would always play poker. Cardinals seeing in prison, in jail, whatever. Stay off at poker table. I play poker. It's just an easy way to pass time. But it's dangerous. This dude was kind of like the bully, man. Thought he was just doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. And one day I just called him out, man. What's up, man? It was crazy. I was totally out of line for doing this. Not necessarily out of line for the incident in itself, but I'm about to go up and see the parole board. Have an opportunity to go home. I called him outside. He goes in his dorm, act like he gonna put his boots on. 5 minutes later, he ain't came out. I go to his dorm. What's up, man? Let's get on out here to this yard, man. I was sick and tired of him. I'm not even no fighting individual. I will fight, can fight, lost some, won some. But it was just this individual I had to let some things slide. And I feel as though, nah, man, I ain't letting it slide today. Today's the day, man. You get me today, big boy. That's just how I felt that day. He comes out. He sits back down at the table. Acts as though nothing happened. I'm like, what's up, man? Let's get on out here to this yard. My partners, from Lexington, man, y'all chill out, man. Chill out, bro. He don't, what I'm saying? It's over with, dog. Just chill out. Nah, man. You don't even understand. He been running his mouth for months, man. He would lose, go in, take stuff back out of the pot, the kitty, that's what you call it. It's like you play poker in prison, it's commissary. So you might have chips, tunas, whatever. Whatever you put in the pot in the kitty. He get mad. Certain games, though. Certain games go out and take his. Nah, it ain't happening today, man. He comes outside. I dust him. I dust him so bad to where I let up off of him. I'm like, dude can't even fight, man. I'm like, he literally can't fight. He's swinging all crazy. I'm just sidestepping and we're backing up, and I'm laughing. I'm laughing. Boom. What Mr. T Glover Lang saying and Rocky, I got a lot of more. I got a lot of more. Come on, fool. Come on, fool. You know, it was one of those type of dusts. So I was like, man, this dude can't even fight, man. I got a lot of more. Come on, fool. Couple days later, they called me up to security. Real Kens come to security. Real Kens report to security. Come on, the loudspeaker. That's what they said. Did they call my name? I'm pretty sure they did. Maybe I'm tripping. Real Kens report to security. Real Kens report to security. Oh, snap. What is going on? Either it's a drug test. I'm cool. I don't get high. Or it's a write-up. Damn, somebody done told about me, fighting dude. The jailer, she done already told me. I forget her name. She's the nastiest woman in corrections. She done already told me if I find out you're gambling, if Real Kens, if I find out you're gambling, I'm gonna send you to prison. She really wants to say, I'm sending your black ass to prison. But I'm gonna send you to prison. But again, I'm gonna send your black ass to prison. I ain't give a fuck. Send me to prison. You can't use prison because I was at like a jail. That's what they do in Kentucky. They don't always send you to prisons. You may start off at a prison and you end up in a jail. I ain't give a fuck. Send me to prison. I'd rather be in prison than this weak ass jail anyway. You know what I mean? That didn't work with me. Her threats, but a lot of other people that were there, they were petrified to go, oh, please don't. Miss Miller, that's her name. Oh, please, Miss Miller, don't send me to prison. I ain't care. They called me up to security. I'm sitting there. What's going on, man? It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be, man. I'm sitting in a room. Lady comes in. She's like, it's not Miss Miller, somebody else. She was like, hey, your sister called up here on Thursday. This is like Monday or Tuesday, the following week. Your sister called up here the other day. I'm like, okay. She was like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your father's passed away. I'm like, what? My father's passed? I just talked to him on the phone. I don't know. She just called and said that he passed away. Well, y'all just now telling me? Well, I just now got the message or whatever. So now if you don't got no money on the phone, which I did, but if you don't have no money on the phone, how you going to call home? They weren't going to give me a phone call or anything, which I didn't need them to because I had money on the phone. But you got some people that don't have any means or access to reaching anybody on the outside world. And the people so nasty and rotten, they act as though because you have to make a long distance phone call, that's just killing their budget and they can't allow you to make a phone call. I call. I found out that my dad, I knew he had been in the hospital, but I didn't know it was anything of that serious. I didn't think it was anything. My dad had passed away, man. That was just one of the days just tears started streaming down my eyes, man. And don't you know that these people threatened, they damn near threw me in the hole? Well, you seem as though you're a little upset, understandably. So we're just going to put you in the hole for a couple of days to allow you to get some clarity because we don't want you blooping out and going off on the other end. No, I don't need to be I need to be around other people. I don't need to go to the hole and drive myself insane thinking about this. Some people, the hole would have been great for me. I did not want to go to the hole. Luckily, they didn't send me to the hole, but I had to sit there and just deal with the fact, like, damn, man. My dad done passed away, can't go to no funerals. I lost multiple relatives, multiple, grandparents, close relatives, multiple friends. I'm talking about real friends, man. I was locked up in the penitentiary, man. Shout out to, R.I.P. Mike Haskins, Zoe Haskins, man, his brother. My dog Philly, man. Lamont Johnson, Richmond, Kentucky. Rich City. I'm from that rich city. That's how they talk in Richmond, Kentucky. Rich City, I'm just saying. My dog, Chi-Town, a.k.a. Skull, Kenneth Anderson. He's from Chicago. He's Vice Lord. He's a 5-star general, man. I've lost so many people being incarcerated. You come home, some of these people you're not even aware that this happened to. Only to come home and find out. Multiple beatdowns, man, that I've seen. You walk in the shower, not in the shower, but you walk in the bathroom at 3:30 a.m. Shower's running. You're not really paying attention, but you look down at the floor, you see 4 feet 4 legs in the shower and they close to each other. Type of things that you see in prison, man. You go in the shower to take a shower, but it's open shower, so you trying to hurry up and shower or whatnot. And a dude comes in with his freak magazine. He got freak pictures from a freak magazine. Hangs them up on the wall right there beside you. Starts to go to town, man. Right there beside you. As though you're not even there. He's not saying anything to you. He's not trying to come on to you or whatsoever. But he's getting, that's what they call, he's getting his money right there in front of you, man. It's all type of crazy things you'll see while you're incarcerated, man. I'm in a medical dorm one day. I'm a trustee. I'm still in the county jail. Trustee, you give them you feed you give them they trays, and then once they're done eating, you go back and pick the trays up or what have you. Everything's glass. They're in individual cells, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. That's one dorm, like A dorm. Then you got B, then it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You got 4 downstairs, 4 upstairs. Everything's glass. It's see-through. You sit down and you got to use the bathroom or whatever, it's see-through. So you take a mat and put it around your toilet. Some people didn't even do it, but you try to have some dignity and cover yourself up. People can just see you. The nurses can see you. If there's a nurse or if there's a female correctional officer, she can see you. There's no privacy whatsoever. You walk past dudes just going to town because he know the nurse is coming in, or he knows there's a female correctional officer working. He's just going to town, man. Getting his money right there in front of him. And you see that you not trying to intentionally look. You just walking, you see it. Oh, the hell, man. Come on, bro. Dude gets beat in his sleep with a stool. They got these little gray stools. Either they got the gray ones or they got the khaki color ones. Let's say light brown, like a tannish color. And the stools are plastic, but at the bottom they're heavy. And the weight at the bottom is to sustain your weight. So when you sit down on a stool, if you weigh 160 pounds, you cool. If you weigh 260, you cool. OG asked these youngsters, hey, man, could y'all, just be a little bit quiet, man? I understand we in jail, I understand, but we trying to sleep. It's like, 2 o'clock in the morning, they playing dominoes. Dominoes, motherfucker! Slamming the bones. They ain't got no towel or no blanket over the table, so when they slamming the bones, it's just the tables are metal tables. You don't like it, make bond, nigga. It's penitentiary. We ain't even in penitentiary. It's a penitentiary. This is jail. Bond out. OG looks at him. Is how you feel, youngsters? Yeah, that's how I feel. My nigga. OG gets in his bunk, don't say nothing else. Waits a few hours, everybody's in the bed, sleep. Well, the rabbit got the gun now. OG jumps out of the bed, grabs that stool. He grabs it from the top end so that, anything that he strikes is going to be the bottom part of the stool. That's the heavy part. Youngster sleep. He laid out. You know how he is when you sleep. Boom, boom, boom. Just beats the brakes off of him in his sleep, man. I thought he unalived him. Beats the brakes off of him in his sleep, man. And he's talking crazy to him the entire time, man. Police comes, another situation, blood's everywhere. See, a lot of times people think that just because you humble and you're nice, that they can just take advantage of you and say anything to you and treat you any kind of way. It wasn't going down that day. OG beat the brakes off of Young. I'm talking about reconstructive surgery to his face. Quite sure that he got time for that. What about the cheesecake story? Big black young dude comes in, sticks his finger in dude's cheesecake. His bunky's cheesecake. It's 4 bunkies, or it's 4 people in the cube. So I guess he really would have 3 bunkies, including himself. He got himself and 3 other people in the cube. 2 people on this side, 2 people on that side. That's your living quarters. That's your area. You in an open dorm. Dude sitting there eating it. White dude, man. He about 5'10", 5'11". I say he's about 5'11". Kind of walk with a hump in his back. Couldn't weigh no more than 170. Didn't bother nobody. Quiet white dude. He's eating a cheesecake, man. He ain't get much money sent in or anything. Black dude, man, give me a piece of that motherfucking cheesecake, man. Come on, bro. This is, I give you my last, but this is my cheesecake. It wasn't like it was a big cheesecake. Come on, man. Give me a piece of that motherfucking cheesecake, bro. I'm just my birthday. I'm trying to. Black dude, young black dude, man, aggressive. Came in from lifting 400 off the weight, pal. He's feeling real gorilla-ish. Oh, he ain't got his shirt on or whatever. Sticks his finger in dude's cheesecake. Come on, bro. Why did you do that? Why would you do something like that? I told you I just wanted to eat my cheesecake. I'm not bothering nobody. Shut up, bitch ass nigga. Listen, man, just take the cheesecake. I don't even, just take it, man. Just take it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Dude takes cheesecake, he's eating it or whatever. White dude, he's just chilling. I don't know his name. I don't recall his name, so that's why I'm referring to him as a white dude. Black dude just keeps talking trash, man. White dude stands up. Listen, youngster, just stop. Just leave me alone. Please, leave me alone. What you gonna do? Boom, beep, bop, beep, boom, 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 boom. Man, the white dude took off on him. I'm talking about, man, nobody knew that this dude knew MMA. You never would have looked at this dude and knew that he knew MMA and like how to box. And every time he was hitting him, it was flush. It was, just connecting with him. I'm talking about knocked him out while he was on his feet. 100 pounds smaller, probably 80, 90 pounds lighter. Every time he hit him, boom, knock him out. Hit him again, wake him up, boom. And he's hitting him. He's not just throwing wild punches. He's boom, boom. You could tell he really knows how to throw punches, man. Man, they had these styrofoam. It was a couple of styrofoam boxes that was in the little cubicle area. Man, it was blood filled. It was blood everywhere, man. Yeah, these are things that I've seen in prison and penitentiary. And again, they didn't directly affect me, but you see it, and it's when you looking at these gruesome things, and it's, oh my God, what have I signed up for? See, the thing about me was every time that I've gone to prison, I did something wrong. I didn't necessarily do what they said that I did. Do I feel like I was overcharged? Heck yeah, I was overcharged. Do I feel like I got too much time? Hell yeah. But do I feel like they picked me up for no reason? No, I was doing wrong and I got picked up and I subjected myself to that sort of punishment. The things that you see in there is just not, it's not normal, man. You would get your wig split, man. You would literally get your wig split over a 50-cent pack of cookies, a 50-cent noodle, a ramen noodle that you can go to the store and buy. What are they, 6 for $2 now? I don't know exactly what they are. You will get your wig, you will lose your life over something like that. Freak books in the penitentiary. Oh my God, big money. Now they've stopped them now, but back in the day when I was originally locked up, you could have freak books sent in. They were legal. You got a freak book, dudes collecting all the freak books and all the I guess the most popular pages or whatever, and they're combining them and they'll make a book. What they do is they rent the freak book out. Okay, you want it for 2 hours? Okay, give me $5, whatever the cost may be. Bring my shit back. When you bring it back, make sure ain't no pages missing and there are no pages stuck together. Those are the two things, other than just not bringing it back, period. Those are the two things that are definitely required. Me, I didn't get into the freak books and all of that stuff. But again, I'm no better than nobody else. I didn't really do all of that while I was locked up. We in the pen, man. We upstairs. We in the upper tier. That's not like on TV to where it's like 5, 6 tiers high, but it's high enough. Dude returns the freak book back to the owner. We're in cells, 2-man cells. I'm right next door. They get to arguing or whatever. It was the issue with the freak book. He was saying one of the pages was missing, and then a couple of the pages were stuck together. I'm quite sure you can, use your imagination and know why the pages will be stuck together. What do you do when you get a freak book? Man, I ain't do nothing. This is how I got the book, man. So they going back and forth or whatever. You could hear them arguing. Nothing happened that day. A few days later, I guess it was an ultimatum, man. You gonna pay for these pages that are missing, or this page that's missing and the pages are stuck together, or we gonna get it in? Dude was like, shoot, we just get it in. I told you I ain't taking no pages or whatever. I come outside, I'm on the tier one day. Because like the way that it is, you're in a cell, but there are doors. It's not like jail bar doors. It's like regular heavy duty doors where you stick your key in or whatever and open the door. There's like a little window that you can look, in and out. I'm coming out of the cell. They going through it. They arguing. One of the dudes got a knife. The dude that had the freak book, the dude that owned the freak book, he got a knife, like a real live knife. I'm seeing it. I'm right there. They going at it. Now the aisle's not that big one. I would say it's maybe, let me see, if I walk past a person, maybe 4 feet wide, maybe 5 feet wide, something like that. These dudes was going at it. The CO didn't see it. See, it's only one CO in the dorm. They can't see everything at all times Because you got the upper unit, then you got the lower unit. They going through it. I stepped to the side, man. I ain't trying to get, involved in this. But I'm looking at the same time. I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking. They fighting, man. Next thing I know, it was two white dudes. Next thing I know, man, one of the dude gets tossed over the tier. Because it's like a rail, like a banister, it's a rail. He literally gets tossed over. And I don't even think the dude was really trying to, they were just fighting and in the midst of battle and wrestling and throwing each other. But dude gets tossed over oh my God, he falls to the ground. He hits the table. Boom, hits the floor. I just knew dude was unalived. Man. He got tossed from the tier, man. The upper tier now. Again, it's not like TV to where it's 5 or 6 tiers, but it's high enough. Concrete on the floor. Boom. Grace of God, man, he made it. That was probably that had to have been the most gruesome thing that I've seen in prison, man. Dude was just split. Blood, his teeth was all on the ground, man. His face was split wide open, man. His head was shaking, convulsing, like the people came in, man. We ended up getting locked down. I got transferred shortly after that. Again, I shouldn't even have been in that situation where I was behind the fence. I ended up getting transferred after that. Reached back to a couple people or whatever that once I got out, and I asked them about the situation, and dude made it. But it's like, wow, I don't see how he made it, man. I guess it just wasn't his time to go, man, because he definitely couldn't fly. We human beings, we not made to fly. This dude got tossed over the tier, man, over a freak book, a magazine. Those are big in prison, man. Freak books. You get your wig split, man. You get your noodle pushed all the way backwards, man. Returning somebody's freak book, and the pages are stuck together, or there's a page missing. And then there's game, too. Sometimes people, they think you weak. They be like, man, there's a page missing, and you ain't took nothing. Ain't nothing missing. They just think that they can get over on you and think that they can, tax you for something that you haven't even done. See, it's all type of games in prison, man. So these are just some of the stories that I've been able to share with you all today. Hopefully this answered your question as far as some of the, the craziest things that I've seen, or the times that I was afraid in prison. Again, I wasn't necessarily afraid per se for myself because I stayed away from foolishness. But you never know. Somebody can bloop out on you. You never know when somebody's going to turn that knife on you and come at you and be like, hey, man, you did this, you did that. You never know when you in the shower, when you just trying to hurry up and take a shower, and somebody runs up on you, and it's 2 or 3 of them, and what do you do? Other than fight for your life, and you better. You better. I tell people all the time, man. Like, and these stories are light. I'm sure that people could come on here and really tell some much more harsh stories than what I told. These are just some of the stories, man. Stay out of prison, man. Stay out of prison. Your baby's mama's not going to wait for you for 20 years. Life's not going to wait for you for 20 years. People's going to pass away. People's going to move on. They're going to steal your stuff. They're going to steal your money if you have any money. They're not going to write you. You're just going to be in there by yourself, man. Then you're going to come home to nothing. So guess what? You got to get back. You feel as though, nah, man, I got to get back. So when you feel like you got to get back, guess what? You're going to do the things that you feel like you need to do to get you back very, very quickly. Only to find yourself right back in the penitentiary and right back in the same lifestyle that you just came from. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification anytime I bring you this action, this heat. Guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. My post notifications haven't been going out. People are not being alerted that I'm dropping my videos. Don't even worry about it, man. Just check the channel every day. If you desire to listen to a true story, just check the channel. I'm getting back to how it was. Matter of fact, I'm about to start dropping 2 stories a day. At least 5 days a week, I'll be dropping 2 stories. So y'all stay tuned. And we trying to take this thing through the moon. For y'all that's hating, that's cool, man. You don't like my intros, I feel you. I don't try to sing to get a record deal. I don't sing to try to hit a note. I sing because I feel like singing, and I like music, and I like, sometimes it gets the attention. I know some people like it, some people don't like it. If you don't like it, man, just don't watch the channel or fast forward. gonna start blocking you punk motherfuckers for real, man. Excuse my French, but it is what it is. Real Kens TV.